Hey, good morning, Life Bridge Church fans. We are here live. This week we're in week 3 of our Elephant in the Room series. And this week we're talking about racism. It's going to be super neat. We've got Pastor Grant is going to be here with John Pomeroy, who is also a church planner in Mount Clemens. It's going to be a really unique sermon. Not only are we going to be talking about an interesting topic, but we're also, he's going to kind of share the stage, and they're going to have a conversation about racism and sort of what that looks like from a Christian perspective. And I think you'll be really interested in this unique perspective. But as you can see behind me, we are in a little bit of a different location. We're actually at our Monroe campus this week. And so this is a campus that we started about 9 months ago down in Monroe County of Michigan. And so we're going to visit a little bit. This is a smaller venue because, like I said, we just started. Really neat story about a church that was a bit on a decline and wanted to reach out to us and have Life Bridge sort of reinvigorate this smaller community church in a area and a community that really needed the type of church that we espouse to be, and that's a church for the unchurched. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour. I'm going to flip the camera around here, and we're going to just kind of see the atmosphere of this, again, smaller campus, but super invigorated. A super neat place to visit. The other thing that I really want to emphasize, and we always want to emphasize, is that not only, not just because you're part of our online campus, the community experience of a church is so important to that whole church experience. Church is not just a location or a building. We know that. You're part of that online experience, but the community is a significant part of what church is. So let me turn around the camera and we're going to take a little visit. If you're on here, go ahead and tell us where you're from, and we'd love to start a conversation and the discussions as well. So let me turn this thing around. All right, so so we're here in the lobby. Of course, any sort of church, the refinery and the coffee and all the goodies is an important part. Over here we've got our auditorium, but the first place I always like to take people is into our children's ministry, Upstreet. This is a critical key part of what we do at every one of our campuses. We know that the children and their parents is a key entry point to church. A lot of times we come back to church when we start to have kids, and we just try to create a bright, exciting environment. You can see we got Lego Land, we've got the scoreboard, our Upstreet Theater, just an environment that has these kids wanting to be here each and every week, excited to hear about the message of Jesus, and just in a really active, energetic sort of way. So the kids are getting checked in at this time. I'm going to kind of take us around here, and we're going to bother Miss Tricia. Hey Tricia, we got our online campus here. So Tricia was our Upstreet director, and so you want to tell us a little bit about what we do here on the Monroe campus and Upstreet?
We have fun back here with the kids. We sing, we learn a Bible story, and
yeah, so you got to go to you got the big open group, which is kind of neat. It's not just like kind of Bible study in your little room, another iteration of going to school, right?
Right.
So you get up here, we sing and we dance, all kinds of fun things. So they're all getting ready to go. I'm going to keep going on the tour. Thanks, Tricia. All right, so everybody's sort of gathering around. This is our check-in station. We check in each and every one of the kids. Our check-in folks make sure that all the kids are connected with their parents and have the appropriate safety. That's always a key issue. So we got Miss Amanda there checking in volunteers and kids. These are our door greeters. Young people already excited. They're jamming to Taylor Swift. We always like to have, we talk about a frictionless environment. And so got Taylor Swift going. Everybody's sort of familiar with that. It's not necessarily Christian music, but when we're talking to unchurched people, it gives them a familiar environment to kind of come to and be a part of that experience without having to kind of know what to do. They just go in there and hear some familiar songs. This is our whole production group. I'm going to go around this way. It's easy to see. It's our campus pastor, Dan. We're going to come talk to him in a second. Okay. This is our production team. They run all the lights and camera and action that goes on inside the service. These guys are, I mean, you can see just even in a smaller venue how many people it kind of takes to give this incredible experience that we try to give everybody each week. Again, create an experience that's comfortable, not a lot of friction. You don't have to know what to do. You just kind of come in, be yourself, do your own thing. All right, I'm going to go track down our campus pastor. We'll talk a little bit about Monroe and kind of the vision here. It's Kevin, our discipleship. All right, I'm going to grab you guys.
Oh, okay.
All right, Dan. So Dan is our campus pastor.
Hey.
Kevin is our discipleship pastor. You want to kind of introduce us a little bit to the Monroe campus and kind of what goes on down here and what makes it a little bit different maybe from the Taylor campus?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So obviously we're trying to have the same type of experience in a much smaller building, but we have a lot of fun. You notice we have our greeters in the front. We want to make sure people have a nice experience as they come in here. Of course, we have our children's area where, again, we want to just kind of bring people through so that they understand the concept and what we are. But really, ultimately, we want to do is we want to support, who Jesus is, who our lead pastor as he speaks through the message, and just give people that same kind of fun experience as they come through here. So that's really what we're about here. So if you're bored this morning, you gotta come.
Hey Marge, I saw your question. We're actually in Monroe, Michigan.
Right.
And so this is our online campus, guys. Hey, Kevin, so as discipleship, I'd love to, one of the things that we always try to talk about in this pre-show, of course, we've got the sermon coming around 9:50 a.m., but how important community is. So even though we're experiencing it in the online campus, how important it is to get involved in your local community church, or if you're close enough to us, obviously come on site and visit us live.
Like for sure, because I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. I know we're all have like different personalities, but even the introverted person, you need people. Maybe it looks differently, but like one of the convictions I think we have a lot is to grow spiritually. You have to be connected relationally, and so that's like core. Because to like love people, you gotta actually be around people. And I think anytime you're around people, like that's how we grow, right? So like this necessity for sure.
Yeah, I mean, talking back and forth here, we get into a lot of discussion. We try to encourage discussion on here even as we go live, but you still got to get into that local church. I mean, you see how much activity is going on here. We're trying to give you a sense of that. So.
Well, very much. I mean, just to be able to walk in somewhere too and have someone say, "Hey, it's good to see you," and how did your week go? A little bit past just the weather and whatever sports are currently going on too is pretty vital.
Totally, super. All right, so guys, we got a few of you on here, but I don't want to lose sight of the fact or make sure that you guys know that we actually, at about 9:50 a.m. is when we'll actually go live again, and that's when we'll actually be bringing you the sermon. And like I said, this sermon is another in our series of Elephant in the Room, and what we've been working on during this series is just approaching some of the controversial issues that we run into each and every week as we live our lives. But as Christians, we often should be taking a slightly different perspective to those things. And so we want to equip you with what we think that Christian perspective should be, and just have honest, open, transparent conversations about that. And today, like I said before, we are talking about racism, and it's going to be a unique sermon today because it's actually Grant, who is our senior pastor here at Life Bridge, actually talking alongside of and with John Pomeroy, who is a church planner in Mount Clemens. And so, again, a really active, open discussion. You definitely want to be here. So go ahead, if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel here and hit that little notification bell so you know when we're going to go live. But like I said, taking a look at my watch, it's about 9:40 now. We'll come back on live at 9:50 a.m. or about there. But you'll see us pop up live if you're on the channel. And we'll bring that sermon to you live. I'm actually going to step behind the comments section and be there to answer all your comments. If you have other questions or you just want to kind of discuss the sermon as it's unveiling and happening, I will be the person behind the logo answering all those questions and commenting, and we can have an active discussion. That's one of kind of the cool things about the online campus is we can have kind of a sidebar discussion while the sermon's coming on. So if there's any questions, or just something inspires you to talk more or to lead into that discussion, we would love you to be a part of those comments. So before I leave you to go behind that comment section and get ready to go live for the actual sermon, I'm just going to ask you to subscribe and hit that little notification button. And I would also love for you in the comment section, just tell us where you're from. Even if you're here local or maybe you're out of state, I would love to know where everybody is from. So just go down in the comment section, just tell us what city and state you're in, or maybe country for that matter. And we'll see you guys again here in about 10 or 15 minutes. Take care. We'll see you soon.